Tonight on Hot Bodies Live, the ladies of the DCU Get Ripped, posting some workout photos, and oh yeah, we also got some other DCU updates. We're just gonna look at these photos respectfully. The MCU X-Men movie gets a writer. A lot of people have some opinions on it, including me. Box office, we are what? 3 weeks into the summer blockbuster season, and the first movie that kicked it all off is already out on video on demand. Dwayne Johansson. He's going for it, guys. He almost looks unrecognizable in his new role. All that and so much more tonight on Film Junkee Live. That's right. We'll be talking about workouts and hot bodies and the box office. Just, yeah. I think I might need a drink.
Let's get nuts.
Well, hello, everybody. What's happening? Oh. We got some new music right here. That's right. Oh, boy. New intro music. Provided by Mr. Lane. I don't know if he's in the chat or he's going to be in the chat, but yes, there he is. There he is. He said he was going to supply some music for me, and there it is right there. Digging the riff, digging it all. So we got some new intro music right there. What is happening, guys? Welcome to Film Junkee Live. Make sure you hit that like, thumbs up, subscribe, do all that. We got some things to talk about, some DCU stuff. When it comes to hot bodies, and we got some X-Men news. When it comes to the MCU X-Men, we got some box office, and of course we got Dwayne Johansson right here. And yeah, it's Tuesday. I'm all off right now because I'm like, whoa, it's Tuesday. What are we doing here, folks? What are we doing here? But it feels like Monday, so let's just roll with it. All right, how are we doing right here? All right. Got some people out in the chat. Go ahead and, make it be known that you're out in the chat. Let me make sure I got the chat right. Oh, it's a little off. Listen to that freaking riff, man. Little solo action right there. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. What's going on? We got, yes, the engineer is definitely jacked. Definitely jacked right there. So thank you again, Lane, for the opening song right there. It does bring like a nice little freaking vibe to it, doesn't it? Good to see you. Good to see you. We got Eric right here. Nice change of pace this week. I know it's throwing me off a little bit though. It really is, because I'm like, what day is it? What are we doing here? It's like. But I'm not going to give my, I'm going to save my full review of Furiosa for tomorrow's show. I'm still going to do a show tomorrow, so. You guys saw my first reaction. Hopefully you guys checked that out. But yeah, I'll give my full review tomorrow for that. So, all right, we got Max Wolf Danger right here. Hey, Dave, what up? Did you see the picture? James Gunn, Superman cast is getting super jacked. Fingers crossed. New X-Men, yeah. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. That's for sure. That's for sure. We got Mr. Chris Balga right here. The track record of the screenwriter for the MCU X-Men movie doesn't give me a lot of excitement based on their track record of past movies. Yeah. We'll talk about that. This is too important. I know. That's the thing. Hey, yo, that music. There he is. There's the guy, the composer right there of that opening song. So, good times. Thank you again, Lane, for doing that. Really appreciate it, sir. Is that some music from New Badass Metal Band? It sounds like it, right? It does sound like it. you know. It's good stuff. And, like I said, I mean, Lane came through. He came through and dug that right there. So really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. And, of course, we got Skate and Geek Out right here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate it, sir. And Dave, I saw the picture of Dwayne Johnson new look. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. It's gonna be pretty interesting. So thank you guys, of course, for showing up and coming in and to this Film Junkee Live. I don't know if the live stream is probably going to be like not as many people as usual because it's off. I don't know. And there's not really. It was kind of slow. Been kind of slow. I was kind of wondering about that because obviously you guys know that I went to the Furiosa screening yesterday out in LA, so I had to drive out to LA on a Monday. But I thought it was kind of interesting because I was like, you know what? Whatever. Got the invite. Might as well do it. And, and I never been to a Screen X before. Never been to a Screen X, and that's where there's projected, the screen bends into the walls on the side. So it's essentially like a 270 degree screen, if you want to say that. And I thought, okay, I've never been to one of these. I've always seen people post video. Looks kind of interesting. I was like, okay, I can't pass this up. So drove out there right when I logged off from work, because LA traffic, you got to just get out there. And I got out there pretty early. I got out there probably about 2 hours before the screening. And it was in Koreatown. This was a little bit different than normal. When I usually go out to LA for these screenings, it's not, it's more of near the Hollywood Bowl or something like that. But this was full on in Koreatown where this screen was. And there was this whole plaza that was 4 stories high. So I was like, all right, what am I going to get? And then I'm just sitting here going trying to figure out where am I going to just chill for a bit, grab a bite to eat and whatever. This was a solo venture, of course. And then I was like, you know what? Sushi's the way to go. Sushi's the way to go because why not? And so I went to a sushi place and just kind of sat down and it was funny because people all around me, they were also going to the screening too. But I will say this about the Screen X screen, and I said this in my first reaction, if you guys didn't see it, it's a little too gimmicky for me. It was, it was kind of cool at first, but I don't need it. I'm all for just a big, huge IMAX screen. That's really all I need. It was a little too gimmicky because, essentially what they do is they just basically take the ends of the frame and just stretch it and project it right here. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting, at times where you're just like, wow, this is interesting. But overall, I was just kind of yeah. And it wasn't even the full movie. It's not the full movie. There was times where it just kind of just wasn't there, and then it was probably there for about 65-70% of the movie where you had the projection on the sides. And yeah, it could be a little distracting because it would look a lot better if there was no break, if it was, because you have this wall right here, you have the exit door right there, you have the exit signs, so you see a break in it. If it didn't have the lines within it, it would look a little bit better. So a little too gimmicky for me. So I'm not rushing out to be I got to go see every movie on a Screen X. So yeah, I don't know. I just rather have a more clean, I know there's some of those screens that are really big and they kind of, bend. But that looks cool because there's no break in it and it's just kind of just right there, So yeah, Screen X, a little too gimmicky for this film goer right here. So, but anyways, we've got some more people joining in right now. Good to see you, Jason, Antonio. Yeah, IMAX screens, still, you can't beat a good old IMAX screen right there. So, anyways, all right, guys. Oh, turn the chat off. All right, let's go ahead and I don't know what's going. Are we gonna be hearing noises? Oh man, I don't know. I got new neighbors down below, guys. New neighbors. Yes, I have new neighbors that are below me, and a couple of days ago, it was just they were. I don't know exactly what they were doing, but it was just constantly a poof, poof, I guess they're just like, I mean, they're settling in and stuff. But I'm like, what exactly is that? And then for like the past hour, I just keep hearing like they're like, I don't know if they're playing like handball down there or something like that. I don't know what's going on. I really hope that this is not going to be a common thing. But I'm like, what is going on down there? Anyways, okay. That's besides the point. But anyways, guys, what's going on, Mr. JD McRae? We got main man Dano right there too. Good to see you. Thank you for joining, guys. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what happened. RJ's here too. Good to see you, bud. All right, let's get into it when it comes to some of the tweets. And, well, speaking of Superman, let's see. Terminal Station in downtown Macon, Georgia. Apparently, we're going to get some Superman stuff right here. And I've seen some images. There's actually, on Instagram, I follow an account that is called Atlanta Filming or whatever, and they even like reported about this, like, okay, we're getting very close to having some Superman like public filming right here. But this actually came out a few days ago, talking about this right here.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. The new Warner Brothers film is set to start filming in downtown Macon.
Simone Souble went to check out the scene
that's what
downtown,
it's called.
and she
Macon.
also chatted
I was
with
like,
neighboring
Macon?
businesses about what they hope could be a super economic impact.
A new movie
Anybody
is
else
filming
bored?
right here
Okay.
in downtown Macon, and it appears to be a big-budget Superman film. Warner Brothers casting directors are searching for extras, and right behind me, they're taking over Terminal Station to prepare for scene work. Nearby businesses have a front-row seat to the construction, and they say the economic impact will drive tourism up, and away.
People get especially excited about movies and films.
All right, that's all we need to know. Just like a news thing. It's always kind of funny. You know what? Hey, if it helps the community, if it helps something right there, that's always good. When some of these movies come into town and then they just kind of like boost up some of this stuff right there. But yeah, that video was released, and it's it's always always fun to see some of that. But yeah, like I said, we're getting very close. We're getting very close to some shooting in public, and again, I think like just a paparazzi shot of that Superman, of Corenswet in the Superman suit, probably be better than that reveal, right? Am I right, guys? Anyways. All right. What else we got here? Oh, okay. Place your bets, folks. Place your bets, okay? Everybody out there in the chat right now, I'm putting this to you. And you're going to place your bets on who wins this fight. Okay, we have a versus right here of two powerhouses that would actually fight each other. And I want you to tell me who would actually win. Batman versus Godzilla. Come on. Oh, we know who'd win. Come on. We all know that Batman would win. I'd put my money on Batman. Of course, it would be Batman right there. Can you imagine that? One of these days, this will probably actually happen. Oh, yeah, man. What are you talking about? You give Batman just like a day to prep? Maybe a day and a half? He's totally taking down Godzilla. Of course he is. It's fucking Batman, man. Of course he's taking him down. But yes, I don't care what anybody says. Anybody who says against otherwise, you're wrong. If you say it's Godzilla, no. Batman would take him down. 100%. Zack Snyder posted that Charlie Hunnam is actually going to be joining the Talk Away the Dark roundtable discussion that's happening on May 30th. So don't forget that, guys. In 9 days, we're going to be having Zack Snyder doing a roundtable with AFSP, and Charlie Hunnam is actually going to be joining, so that's pretty cool. Oh, we got some cool art right here from a friend, Mr. Aaron Bailey right here. He posted some World's Finest showing Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck in the classic And I love this because it's a cool little take in the classic Batman and Superman costumes. So we got the yellow oval right there when it comes to Batfleck, and then of course we got the trunks and everything. So and then we got Cavill in the classic costume too that he posted. So that's pretty sweet. I always love that. Again, I'm a sucker for some good art right there. Really got to love that. Cillian Murphy is actually going to be, I think we all assumed that we knew that he was going to be joining 28 years later. 28 years later. It wasn't like confirmed, but there was like confirmation that he was going to be like an executive producer. And he even talked about it too when he was approached by it. And it was like, it's like, yeah, you're coming back, right? Your character's coming back. And sure enough, now it's confirmed by Deadline that yes, it's finally coming back. Newsflash, everybody. I don't know if you knew this, but when it comes to Venom, The Last Dance, this is going to be the last Venom movie of this particular franchise. Did you guys know this? That's right. Deadline reported that The Last Dance will be Sony's final Venom film. Now, we can make the jokes because it's like, yeah, it's called The Last Dance. But then, obviously, when you read about what Sony said, it's like, oh yeah, this is going to be the last one when it comes to the franchise, and it's like, okay, but it's not the last. Some people are going like, oh, what? We're not going to see Venom ever again? It's like, no, they're just not going to be doing like the individual franchise, I guess, just like his franchise of movies, at least for now. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the future, but it is kind of funny because when I read that, I went, yeah, it's called The Last Dance. We know Tom Hardy's not going to do it again, even though it's like, goddamn, somewhere in some universe, it would have been awesome to see Tom Hardy's Venom, Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock with Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker. I mean, I know there was that whole No Way Home, the whole ending that they put, or not, was it No Way Home? I don't even remember. Yeah, it was, right? Where he licked the screen and it was like Tom Holland, and it's like, okay, so there is a rumor out there that yes, Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4 is going to, like, the symbiote, the little bit of symbiote that was left over before he went back to his universe is going to play a factor in Spider-Man 4, which is like, good, yes. At least there's going to be some kind of Venom, but yeah, Tom Hardy's Venom, that like particular franchise, it's done. That's why they called it The Last Dance. It makes sense, right? It makes sense. Hopefully it's good. Because Let There Be Carnage was a disappointment. Like, there's things I like about it, Let There Be Carnage, but man, I think they wasted Woody Harrelson. I think they wasted the character of Carnage. And yeah, it was just like, I don't know about it. Like, I have kind of a love-hate relationship when it comes to the Venom franchise because I do like the quirkiness, but I just wish they just went full-on rated R for the whole thing and just like no holds bar kind of thing. But, what can you do? What can you do? And then, yes, guys, check out the Film Junkie Closet. Updated some designs in there, some shirts, some drinkware, obviously, being the vodka stream, and so you can click down below if you want to check out some merchandise. And right now I've been running a promo, 15% off your purchase. If you want to get some merch from the Film Junkie Closet, check it out. Got some things in there. Shirts and new designs and fun stuff like that. But yeah, use promo code vodka, of course, and you get 15% off your purchase. So if you want to, check that out, do that. Then we got this right here from Mr. Job Huts right here. I think we talked about this on the vodka stream, but I thought this was actually a pretty cool design. Like, when it came to the full-on suit design, I liked it, but I didn't like the undies, the trunks that he had with the design. And I expressed that. I was like, the undies were not doing it for me. But with this image right here, that is, of course, very much taken off of All-Star Superman, I thought this is a lot better because it's hiding the underwear. And this would have been a better reveal than what we got, I guess. But the suit looks really clean, looks really cool right here. And I was like, really awesome. And what also sucks, too, is I mean, we live in an age. I mean, that's the thing. It's like anytime that I use like art from somebody else, I always try to make sure like who's like this art and can I credit them? And I'm trying not to be like, sell anything, but apparently he was like, he found that on a certain like t-shirt making website, somebody actually put that on a t-shirt and he was trying to like, get them to remove it. I don't know what the status about that is, but yeah, he was like, Mr. Job Hutz right there was talking about that somebody actually like took that design and put it on a shirt. And it was very awful too. Like, because anytime that you see like the shirt and it's like on somebody, it's like obviously it's digitally put on there. It's not like that fucking, model actually wore a shirt and it looked really bad. So hopefully that doesn't, but at the same time, I mean, he even was like saying like, hey, I don't do this. I don't do that. That's not how I roll when it comes to my art. And I thought I really respected the fact that he was trying to call them out and saying like, hey, I do this for fun. This is just something I'm passionate about. And even James Gunn, apparently, like, I don't know if it was on Instagram or Threads or whatever, but James Gunn actually liked this image right here too. James Gunn was probably like, yeah, this is the image I probably should have released. Oh, anyways. Well, what can you do, right? What can you do? Okay, somebody answer me this. Why last week or the past week and a half, 2 weeks, why has there been on Twitter when it comes to people talking about movie sex scenes, why has there been like just this discussion about unnecessary movie sex scenes? I mean, I think I briefly talked last week about like sex scenes and how they're down now because nobody really wants to see sex scenes. So there's not that many sex scenes in movies, which is like, yeah, okay, that's fine. We don't need it. It's whatever, unless it really moves the story, there's no need for a sex scene. But it was kind of interesting because I remember last week or like maybe a week and a half ago, I think it was actually last week, that some people were talking about the first Crank movie. They were talking about that sex scene between obviously Amy Smart and, Mr. Statham right there, when in public where like they like, in front of a lot of people, he like bends her over and just kind of like gets it on. And they were saying that was an unnecessary sex scene. And I went, a lot of people were like, well, this sex scene literally saves his life. He has to keep his adrenaline pumping. It was literally saving his life. It was like, it went viral on Twitter. And it was like, why would you say that's an unnecessary sex scene when it was literally saving his life? Did you watch the fucking movie? But I thought, when it came to a necessary sex scene, I thought this tweet actually was pretty funny. One poke to save us all. Yes. There you go right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's just beautiful right there. I mean, come on. I mean, that is a necessary sex scene right there, right? It's just, that was funny. I just thought that was pretty funny right there because, obviously the first Terminator, I mean, that's what needed to happen because John Connor needed to be born, right? He needed to be born. So I just thought that was funny. I wanted to share that with you guys. Because I don't know why this whole like unnecessary sex scene thing was like going on. And I'm like, well, there is necessary sex scenes, and that's one of them. Oh, let's go back to 1985. And I don't mean Back to the Future. I mean when the Goonies came out, and look at this shot right here. People wrapped around the building, anxiously wanting, in a small town, you got the marquee right there, old school. Take me back when it comes to this right here. I mean, I like the convenience of like just, getting my ticket, and then of course I could just go to the movie theater whenever I want to. But you know what pisses me off about that? You know what I hate about the fact that now we have the option to buy our tickets and buy our seats is the fact that people just show up late. It's like now they just like know that, oh yeah, we're guaranteed a ticket. So I'm going to show up, fucking 14 minutes into the previews, with my big cardboard box of shit. that I'm just going to be like crunching on, you know, at the beginning. It's like, I hate that. I always like to get, even though like I know that there's commercials, there's trailers, there's whatever, but I still like to get there before that. But then I also hate it when the movie has fucking started and people are still rolling in. They're still rolling in. Take me back to that. When people were like, we got to go to the movies, we got to wait in line. And it was just a whole different time. Just a whole different time. Anyways. That's just me acting like an old man. Back in my day. Back in my day. Now, I do like the convenience of like just, you know, getting the ticket, getting the stuff like that. I just hate it when people show up so fucking late. It's like, why are you showing up so late? The movie's already started and you're just showing up, but, you know, I don't know. People. Work with me, people. That's all I ask for. Anyways. So, Batfleck. All right. So, I tweeted something out that I knew was good. I was feeling a little frisky on Saturday night. You know, it's been a while since I stirred the pot a little bit when it comes to fandoms, when it comes to the Snyder fandom, the diehards, and then when it comes to the anti-Snyder fandom, I was like, you know what? I'm going to tweet something out because there was this very image right here that kind of just got me like, wow, that looks really cool. I saw it before, did not realize that it was actually going to be a Batman variant cover for Batman, I think 151 or something like that. And I went, oh my God, they utilized Batfleck, and this is pretty awesome. Are we getting closer to actually can we have Ben Affleck's Batman script turned into a graphic novel? So I posted this right here. Oh, we're getting closer. Just take Ben Affleck's Batman script and make it a graphic novel. Look at that beautiful art right there. From Gabriel Del Otto, if I'm saying his name right. But look at that right there. It's just a variant cover that they were like, all right, let's put Batfleck right there. Doesn't mean anything. Oh, but the responses were fun. And I knew it would because I put hashtag make the Batfleck graphic novel. Because obviously there's that hashtag that is make the Batfleck movie. And, you know, some of those guys are a little, you know, a little too passionate, I guess you could say. And right off the bat, too, like within 5 minutes, it was like, I got quote tweets that were just like, no, hashtag make the Batfleck movie. Because, I mean, sadly, there are just people out there that just, they you know, obviously it's their way or the highway kind of thing. It's that whole thing where it's like, and it was funny because when I woke up and I started kind of looking, I also got pushback from the anti-Snyder people as well. People saying, let it go, not going to happen, blah, blah, blah. I also got that too, but it's also pretty funny because, you know, especially when I get some of the guys that just go like, you know, that basically just say like, oh yeah, you were just using this as bait. And I'm like, well, yeah, and you fell for it. I mean, yes, sometimes that does happen where you just, you know, people just do that. You get on social media, especially Twitter, and you're going to rile up, you know, I'm just not one of those people that rile up a fan base and then go, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, I hate it when I see that, when I see people like rile up a fan base and then go like, wow, why am I getting dogpiled on? It's like, well, you riled up the fan base. What do you expect? So I was like, you know what? It's been a while. Let's see what happens when I post this. And sure enough, yeah. And I went back and forth with some people. And it is kind of interesting when, well, first off, one of the funniest things when it came to some back and forths that I had when it came to this whole thing was the fact that it always went back to Zach. And I'm like, wait a minute, aren't we talking about Ben Affleck's Bat? I mean, I get it that, you know, he did say that he pitched Justice League 2 and 3 for a graphic novel. He did. He said that. I think he's even said that on the Vodka stream. He said that he like did that and they just turned him down. I mean, who knows what will happen in the future? It could turn into something else. But, yeah, it's just like, okay, so we got that. But I'm like, what about Ben Affleck's Batman script? I mean, that's not the same. It's not the same as Ben Affleck. You know, could be a totally different thing. Okay. So maybe they could turn that into something. But it was just kind of funny seeing that. But the people who are just like live action or nothing at all, fuck you. I always say this. Fuck you. Like, you are a selfish asshole. Okay? Just because there's actually a graphic novel doesn't mean that it wouldn't turn into live action. But I got news for you. There's not going to be a live action, okay? There's just not. It's been way too long now. Okay, and everybody's off doing their own things. We got Warner Brothers and DC Studios doing their own thing. They're starting their own new universe. It's just not going to happen now. I mean, I remember there was like a time period where it was like, maybe. It's long past now. It's too far along now. So I'm like, I just want to get these stories, these Snyderverse stories, into either in a book or animation, which still could be a possibility. Live action, let's face it, it's just not going to happen. But it was just like when you see like the either live action or not, I'm like, where's the logic in that? Where's the actual logic in that? And like I said, yeah, it was a little bit of I stirred the pot a little bit. I admit that. Okay? I admit that. But at the same time, it's like when people were calling that out, I'm like, hey, but you fell for it. It's like, you did fall for it. You could have just moved on, just looked past it, and just totally ignored the tweet. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, I want to see what that story all had involved. Put it in a book. I want to put it in a book. Put anything that was already like in script form into a book, because I'm sure it's gold. Sure, it's gold. Why can't we do that? Please. Anyways, look, literally right here, the next tweet that I retweeted was Joe Quinones, whatever his name is, literally doing some what is he, inking it? Putting some color or some ink into his Batman 89 book. I mean, you know, who knew that we were going to get a continuation story for Batman 89 or Superman 78? So it's like, it's possible to get these stories continued in comic book form. Look at that beautiful fucking Batman 89 emblem that I love so much. It's like we can have that happen. Right? Man, I had somebody who was so fucking triggered in my mentions about it that he said, like, yeah, Ben Affleck said that he doesn't want to work with the new DCU. Yeah, okay, he did say that, but this is DC Comics. It's not the DCU. It's not DC Studios. It's DC Comics that could take his story and put it into a comic book, put it into a graphic novel, put it into a series. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I just don't understand, like, the reluctancy from some of these people. The reluctancy. It's like live action or nothing. I'm like, because I guess they're still holding on to the fact that Netflix is still gonna buy it. I don't even understand, like, how is that even a thing anymore? I don't know. All I know is like the whole, like, I remember I kept getting accused for a bit saying, like, I'm part of the move on people. I mean, I guess I am more so with that now, because there are people like, oh yeah, like the move on crew or whatever the hell when it comes to certain sanctions of the fandom. But I'm like, y'all, now it's like, yeah, move on to the fact that these people that you like so much are now making original projects. Support those. Can we support those? Some people just can't let go of the Snyder DC stuff. And what do I always say? I always say that, all right, when it comes to Snyder DC, yeah, it was the best. It was fantastic. Obviously fantastic. But now I'm like, as a Zack Snyder fan, I want to see what else he has in store, like when it comes to original stuff. I'd rather see these people, like, not go back into the WB machine that is still very much a mess. This thing is a mess. Warner Brothers problems have not been solved. So why would you want to bring Snyder back into that, or even any, like, Cavill back into that, Ben Affleck back into that? Why would you want to bring him back into that? You heard what Ben Affleck said at that fucking Tom Brady roast. He went off script. And I know this because I listened to some of the comedians who were up on stage on their podcast that were saying, like, Ben Affleck dropped the ball. He fucked up because he went off script to talk about trolls behind their computers and stuff like that. Because guess what? I guess he got caught wind of a lot of that. I don't know. Ben Affleck might be going through some struggles right now too, by the way. There's that, you know, we talked about that rumor that, you know, he and J-Lo might be divorcing, which shocker there. And I've also heard some things too that didn't sound too great. But, for another time. But it's just like, why go back into I don't think Ben Affleck wants to come back into the superhero fucking machine, to be honest. Cavill probably doesn't want to either after how many times he got fucked over by Warner Brothers. So it's like, I just wish that these people would realize that, hey, guess what? Not going to happen. So, hey, a book or animation can be the way to go if you want to see the story some of these stories that we didn't get to see. And it sucks too, and I get it, because if those movies would have just came out, we would be done by now, and they could be rebooting the entire universe already. They would have already come out. We already got Justice League 2 and 3, possibly a Man of Steel 2, and Batfleck's solo project, and we would have moved, it would have just closed it all off. We would have had like a Flashpoint thing, and then they could have just started. But no, the regime at Warner Brothers were fucking dicks, and they were trying to just keep pieces. They were trying to just build something with pieces that were from this and then new pieces, and they just weren't, and it didn't work out. And now here we are with a whole new universe coming, basically. So anyways, there we go. I had to rant off a little bit about that. Sorry. But here's something that I've been talking about for a while, probably since Fate of the Furious came out. I've been screaming about this because I'm like, Jesus Christ. Fast and Furious franchise, what is happening? Can we just go back to the basics? And guess what? I mean, we kind of already heard a version of this, but now we got even more when we got this quote when it comes to where the Fast and Furious franchise is going to be headed to after the next movie. The next Fast and Furious films might pivot and bring it back to the streets of LA and maybe make it a more intimate story. Yes! Yes! You guys went way too far. When they sent Ludacris and Tyrese in space, when they sent them in space, that was it. Hell, was that Fast 9? I don't even remember which one that was. But I was saying this after Fate of the Furious because I thought Fate of the Furious was fucking awful. When they were literally being chased by a submarine, I went, okay, you guys are going way too far. But that wasn't far enough because they went to space. It became a parody of itself, and it still is a parody of itself. Even though Fast X was better than Fate, for sure, and I think better than Fast 9. I think it was mainly had to do when it came to Jason Momoa's villain role. I thought it just helped it a little bit right there. But I kept saying, just take the story. We just hit you, Dom and Letty and their child, go back to the streets, and yeah, just have a small story about something like that. And now here we are, them saying that. Good. Please. Hey, did you guys know that Sean Diddy Combs, he's a fucking piece of shit, right? We know this, right? Okay, good. I mean, I'm only going to talk a little bit about this, but, it was a topic of conversation when it came to that video that was released that showed him beating his ex-girlfriend or whatever the hell. I'm sure you guys saw that in the hotel, hallway, which was terrible. And then, of course, he came out with some, and it's like, hey, newsflash, everybody, Sean Diddy Combs, yeah, he still can't act. He couldn't act when he tried to act before, and he still can't act now. You know what I love when it comes to the whole P. Diddy thing? I'm like, okay, it took 25 years to realize that this guy is a fucking hack. No talent. I mean, yeah, I get it. He's a producer, so yeah, he can come up with some beats and probably, figure out something. But when it came to him actually performing, did anybody actually think he had an ounce of fucking talent? I never thought he did. I just thought he ripped off songs, tried to make them his own, and they were shit. Remember when he fucking for the Godzilla movie that came out in 97, and he took Led Zeppelin's song and he tried to make it his own? And I was like, wow, you destroyed a classic Led Zeppelin song. Good job. Sadly, Jimmy Page was part of that process. He was part of the music. He was in the video. And I remember just, like, even back then, I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, so Diddy, of course, put out apology for that video. And it was all bullshit. Saying that he was like, oh yeah, I hit rock bottom. Really? Diddy, you hit rock bottom? How much were you worth back then? What was going on with you back then? Nah, you didn't hit rock bottom. You are just a fucking piece of shit. I'm just glad that it's finally coming around. It's finally coming around. I mean,
Cat Williams was right, y'all. I mean, he was. That's right, P. Diddy did, don't I?
I'm trying to do a Cat Williams impression. Not that great. If I settle into it, I can get into it. But I'm just saying, remember, Cat Williams was calling this shit out when it came to him being on with Shannon Sharp. I mean, he called us that this is going to be the year of, like, exposure. Look at what's happening right here. And 50 Cent is loving every minute of it. Oh, my God, is he loving every minute of it. Also, guys, newsflash. Standing ovations, trades. Can you stop reporting them? Can we stop reporting standing ovations? Because they are fucking meaningless, okay? We've been hearing about standing ovations at these film festivals that go on for way, way, way too long. Way too long. Oh, yeah, you know, so-and-so got a fucking 11-minute standing ovation. You know how awkward that is? How awkward is that? And how tiring is it for people to just be like... I mean, for what? For how long? And how awkward is it for the performer? I mean, did you see, like, Emma Stone for, like, her new movie at Cannes? She was, like, making funny faces and kind of being goofy because, yeah, it probably is awkward. First off, why are they, I think the amount of time, and I figured it out here, folks. I figured out the amount of time that you should have that for a standing ovation. 42 seconds. How did I come up with that? I don't know, but I came up with that. 42 seconds, no longer than 42 seconds for a standing ovation, okay? Other than that, it's not quite less than a half a minute, but it's not a minute, okay? 42 seconds. That's all you need. Don't question the math, all right? Don't question the math. I just thought 42 seconds. That's long enough. Perfect amount of time. You know, everybody's loving it. Everybody, you know, takes their bows and blah, 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 and everybody hugs and whatever the fuck. But when they go on for like 7, 8, 9 minutes, it's ridiculous, and they don't mean anything because then everybody's like, "Oh my God!" It's like the trades. They came up with some negotiation with the trades of like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna post about this long standing ovation, and that's gonna promote the movie." And then all of a sudden, you get the reviews from a movie, and they're shitting on the movie. It's like, wait a minute, they're meaningless. Nobody goddamn cares. Nobody cares, and the Giants just lost. They just blew it on a walk-off. Sorry. I had the Giants game on right there, and they freaking blew the lead. They had a lead of like 6-3. They blew the lead, and oh my God. Terrible. All right, whatever. Jesus Christ. Congratulations, Pirates. All right, ranting off a little bit. Did you guys see that there was like a meteor that showed up in Portugal? This was pretty crazy. And this is probably the best video from this whole thing that was captured right here. Look at this. I mean, they added music, of course, but I mean, look at that. There were so many images of this, but this was like the best one right here of this girl right here. I should probably turn down the music. I'm going to get copyright. But yeah, she was like, what the hell? And there it is right there. Yeah, there was like a meteor. There were so many different videos that I saw of that. And it was like, whoa. The aliens are landing, guys. The aliens are landing. You know what came out 8 years ago? Hold on. I'm getting notifications that the Giants lost. Yes, I get it. The Nice Guys. Released in theaters 8 years ago on the 19th. That's right, guys. This beautiful, probably, in my opinion, one of the best buddy cop movies. Came out 8 years ago. And I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, wow, 8 years. It's been 8 years since that movie came out. It's one of my all-time favorite, like, buddy cop comedy movies. I watch it. I've watched it so many times. It's so great. And at this point, we should have already had, like, a trilogy. There should have been a Nice Guys trilogy by now. There should have been already that. But sadly, that's not the case. And it's kind of funny, too, because it's like, you know, when those types of movies used to be big when it came to, like, the 80s and 90s. 80s and 90s were big on those buddy cop type of movies. And, you know, we're talking about the box office struggles nowadays. I mean, but they've been around. They were even back there. I mean, this was, you know, 8 years ago that a movie like this should have done pretty damn well, and it didn't. It got destroyed by Angry Birds, as Ryan Gosling put it. And it was just like, damn it. Just frustrates me because I'm like, we should have already had so many, we should have already had like a trilogy when it came to it. God damn it. But what can you do? And of course, the Deadpool tickets are out there right now. Did you guys get your Deadpool tickets? We also got a trailer for the Sandman Season 2 that came out. Oh, this was interesting right here, too. OpenAI. Did you guys hear about the OpenAI thing where it came to, Scarlett Johansson, which apparently Mr. Altman, who was like trying to get her to do voice for the OpenAI, because, you know, AI is now getting stronger. It's getting smarter, guys. That's right. We're all doomed. We're all doomed. OpenAI has removed the ChatGPT voice that sounded very similar to Scarlett Johansson's AI chatbot from her. I don't know about you, but I was like, yeah, if I wanted to have an AI, I'd like it to sound like Scarlett Johansson. When I watched her, I was like, yeah, I mean, who would not want Scarlett Johansson to be the voice? I mean, pick your poison of who. It's kind of funny though, because it's almost like you could just pick anybody nowadays, but there was a whole thing. And apparently, yeah, she like got offered to do that, but then she turned it down. And then now there's like this like lawsuit kind of thing happening that might be happening. And I don't know, not too smart when it comes to all that. But this whole AI thing is just, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And then speaking of anniversaries, this was an anniversary that happened yesterday. That's right. A great moment that happened where we finally got the announcement of the Snyder Cut from Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I don't know if this is helpful. See that?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
There is this.
Yes. God, 4 years ago that was. Man, time's just flying by. I still remember where I was at. I'm sure you guys, some of you guys probably saw my my reaction to it. It was so ridiculous because, I mean, when it came to that was on like a Wednesday. I believe it was a Wednesday. It was in the middle of the week. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. I'm pretty sure it was a Wednesday. And it was funny because when that was happening, I was at this job. You know, I wasn't working remote like I am now, but I was at this job. And it was funny because, you know, with my job, like I said, sometimes like work just dries up. And sometimes you kind of get like a little furlough thing that happens in my line of work. So I didn't work Monday and Tuesday because there wasn't any work. And then I got called in on that Wednesday. And when I caught wind of the fact that this was going to be announced, and it was like, shit, of course. So I was literally out in the field because I had to like field like a thing for, you know, for the job. And I remember I had like an earbud in, and I was doing, you know, just doing the job that I had to do. And I was listening to the entire conversation, and then finally it happened. So if you see, when you go back and see my reaction, I'm in my car, just kind of like, or was it a work vehicle? I think it was a work vehicle. And that was when I had to record my reaction to that. So I was like, geez. It was awesome, though. You know what else is awesome? Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is awesome. This is pretty good right here. Obviously, like, I told you guys, I'm like, I can't wait for the Deadpool marketing to happen. And of course, now the interviews are coming out and the marketing has started up right now. They've already been doing like, videos, interviews, all this stuff. And then we got this video right here from Ryan Reynolds.
We're very excited to be joining you July 26th. Many of you are very excited, but we should set the table correctly. This film is as paper thin as a sequel to Battlefield Earth. We're mostly going to beat each other senseless, make enemies with Disney, tell a few dick jokes, make a few jokes at my expense, make a lot of jokes at Hugh's expense, and completely sidestep Marvel's mandated after-credit sequence, which, if you haven't figured it out yet, is always just a commercial for another movie, which will invariably end with a commercial for another movie. So sit back, relax, let us lower your IQ and raise your heart rate while we travel to a vapid dreamland, a place where grown men and grown women walk around in tights and act like it's not a giant cultural cry for help. This is cinema.
Oh, I thought that was sped up. When I first saw this video, I thought I was like, did they speed it up for like 1.5 or something like that? I was like, Jesus, talk about. But I mean, again, this is what's so great about Deadpool and Wolverine is the fact that it's just going to be shitting on all the stuff that we've complained about when it comes to the MCU. I mean, just in those 34 seconds right there, there was a lot to process right there. It just shows you Ryan Reynolds, the man right there. It's freaking awesome. And he read that so super fast, and it was just something that was like put together that just basically condensed and basically just any gripes that we've had about the MCU, which is all right there. Thought that was just absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Love it. Gotta love it. Oh, man. Okay, so this right here, I was reading this actually last night when I was at that sushi restaurant that I was telling you guys about. But, when it comes to Christopher Nolan, you kind of wonder, like, okay, so, like, when it comes to Christopher Nolan, is it very much just like, okay, he has a script, and it's very much that, and that's what it's going to be. And it's like, because you just know, it's Christopher Nolan, like one of those, it's like, okay, he's not very collaborative, or is he collaborative? Well, apparently he's pretty damn collaborative, and I think the most talented filmmakers are, because this was actually just came across the feed right here, which I thought was cool. According to Christopher Nolan, Leonardo DiCaprio pushed him to change his original script for Inception, which made the film better. I was working on a more superficial version of the project. Superficial may be overstating, because all the story elements were in there, but I was still trying to approach it from a genre perspective. Leo encouraged me to and demanded me to push it in a more character-based direction, more about the relationship. He didn't write, but he would go over the script and come up with ideas. It made a huge difference. It was a fraught, difficult process. The rewriting went on for months and months because he's very demanding, but it was very productive. I think he made it more of a resonant film. And this comes from the book, the Nolan The Nolan Variations. That's where that came from, that book. But that's cool. It's like, wow. Because you would have thought that was just Jonathan and Christopher Nolan just coming up with some cool shit. But apparently, we wouldn't have got the same movie if it wasn't for Leo pushing back against Christopher Nolan. Makes you wonder, like, how many times that he's pushed back against, Scorsese or somebody like that, Kind of interesting. So I just thought that was pretty cool right there. DiCaprio, good job. Good job, because I fucking love that movie. Oh, we got a new fan film. Too many F's right there. We have a new fan film, folks. That's what I was trying to say. I'm sure you guys saw this Green Lantern fan film that's going to be coming out. Well, if you didn't, here you go. Anybody else getting a seizure? Whoa, I mean, Jesus Christ, a lot of flashing lights right there. Hopefully, you guys are okay after that. But yes, there's a new fan film right there from Mark Justice. That's right. Fan-led film, public, he said public, our footage is public domain, not our work, ours coming soon. And then, of course, tagged James Gunn as well as Zack Snyder. And apparently, according to him, he's also saying that he wants to send this directly to Zack Snyder. intrigued. And I remember seeing behind the scenes images of this fan film where it's like he's got a legit Green Lantern costume. Pretty interesting stuff. And I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm intrigued. I'm all about fan films. I love that. Obviously, I've had people on that make their own films or their own fan films, and I'm always very intrigued by it. So I'm kind of interested about this. And of course, they want to get it to Zach. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe I could help a little bit. So Mark, if you're out there, hit me up, or I can hit you up. I don't know. Maybe we can make something happen. Just saying. But I know he wants to get that to Zach. Let's see. We got another Deadpool thing right here, too. Well, they don't need that. That's not that anything. There's a lot of Deadpool stuff, and I'm just like, all right. But this is kind of stupid. Well, Sony. Sony's stupid. I mean, we know they're stupid. But are they stupid? Maybe they're just not stupid. I mean, we've talked about it on the Vox stream, and we talked about it with, like, the fact that these superhero movies that they put out, I mean, like, are they actually losing money? Are they actually not losing money? Are they clever? Will they just know that these movies are so bad that people are going to flock to them maybe, or they're going to make their money in a way? I don't know. But when it comes to Kraven the Hunter, well, Kraven the Hunter was delayed to December as Sony believes people will spend holidays seeing it over and over again. What? It's a Christmas movie? Is that what's happening? Gee, kids, now that you're done unwrapping your presents and we've already had breakfast, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to go see Kraven the Hunter, the R-rated movie where the guy bites a fucking nose off? Okay, let's go see that. Over and over again. What the hell? Woo, okay. I mean, I think they're trolling everybody. Are they trolling everybody? I think Sony at this point is just trolling everybody. I think they are. I think they are trolling people at this point. It's just, it's like, wow, they're going to see it over and over again. It's like, I don't know about that. Now, I have high hopes for it because the trailer wasn't bad. I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I don't know if he's leading man material, but I think he can pull it off. And then it's R-rated. They're finally leaning into the R rating, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I'm just like, they gotta be trolling, right? They're just leaning into this now. They gotta be leaning into it now. It's like, I don't know. It's just like, wow. That's not the reason why. You guys are changing shit. They're changing shit. They gotta be changing shit, right? Did you guys know we have a new Robin Hood movie coming out? I think I talked about it a little bit, but a lot of people were like, when they heard that Hugh Jackman was going to be part of a new Robin Hood movie, and even I was like going, oh boy, here we go, another Robin Hood movie. How can this be any more intriguing if they're just going to do the traditional Robin Hood stuff? And a lot of people, because we just heard that Hugh Jackman and Jodie Comer were going to be in it, but they didn't put out the information of who they're actually playing. So a lot of people just thought, oh, Hugh Jackman must be playing the sheriff. And he's just playing the sheriff. But no, he's actually playing Robin Hood. And I will say, it's called The Death of Robin Hood. And it sounds like Old Man Robin Hood right here. A24 has acquired the U.S. rights for The Death of Robin Hood, starring Hugh Jackman and Jodie Comer. The film follows Robin Hood grappling with his past after a life of crime and murder while it's in the hands of a mysterious woman after being badly injured. All right, you sold me. It's a different type of Robin Hood. It's Old Man Robin Hood. I mean, everybody's going to say that, right? We're just going to hear Old Man Robin Hood, like it's Logan or something like that. But, all right, so, yeah. Everybody's like, okay, is Jodie Comer playing Maid Marian? Nope. It sounds like she's just playing somebody else. And, yeah, he's playing Robin Hood. So, hey, you're not going to do the traditional Robin Hood story? Fine. Thank you. Don't do that. Do something different. And it's an A24 movie? Okay. You got me on that. New poster for Beetlejuice. That's right. And we're getting a new trailer on Thursday. So, if you guys are wondering about that, Any more Beetlejuice? That's what we're getting. That is what we're getting. And I had no idea. I heard about this movie Eden, and yeah. Did you guys know that Ron Howard was directing this movie? And I tweeted this out. I said, "Oh, Ron Howard is directing this wet dream." Because I mean, come on, this is literally just like why you have something called Eden that stars Sydney Sweeney, Ana de Armas, and then you have even Vanessa Kirby that's added to it. All right, so this is just a lot of eye candy that's going on right here. All right, cool. And we also got Street Fighter right here too. So I totally forgot that, yeah, they're actually going to be making a Street Fighter film, and apparently Legendary was like, hey, look at this. We got a logo, which just looks like the Street Fighter logo. It's on the bricks, and I'm like, okay, cool. Jean-Claude Van Damme coming back, huh? You're reprising his role as Guile? Probably not. No, he's not going to be doing that. Of course not. But I was like, oh yeah, there's a Street Fighter movie coming out. Okay, well, good luck, guys. See if they could pull that one off. But apparently, like, the group that's like handling it, they've done some pretty good work when it comes to fight choreography. So maybe we got some high hopes. But if you had high hopes about Adam Wingard, you should relinquish those, because we have the sequel to Kong, Godzilla, whatever the hell it would be, Kong X Godzilla, I don't know what it would be when it comes to the third time around when it comes to these two characters, but a lot of people were thinking that, oh yeah, Adam Wingard, he's just going to come back and he's going to make another one. He's going to make a full-on trilogy when it comes to these two characters, but no, that's not actually happening. Adam Wingard will not return to direct the upcoming Godzilla X Kong sequel, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Oh, Jesus, thing stops working. What? You know what? I respect it. Good on Adam Wingard. Don't get stranglehold into this. And what else are they going to actually do? I mean, again, I thought that last time, and when I saw this movie, I went, okay, I enjoyed that. I will say the final act of Godzilla Kong was actually pretty damn entertaining and pretty damn insane. And I was like, okay, I enjoyed that. I did enjoy that. But it's like, where else can you go from there? But it was kind of weird because at first it was like, oh yeah, he's actually going to return for another sequel. And then now, nope, not going to happen. And I'm like, yeah, go out on top, man. Because God knows what the hell the next one's going to be. And obviously doing two of those movies, that probably took over 5 years of his life. Probably a lot of stress. A lot of the, the corporate suits above going like, hey, no, you got to do this. You got to change this. I don't know. A lot of crazy stuff. But, yeah, so there you go. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. And that's all the tweets. Man, that went on for a while, didn't it? There's so much with the Hollow Earth and stuff like that. Yeah. Kong XYZ Godzilla. That could be it. That could be a good one right there. All right, let's talk about some DC news. And, like I said, the first thing we're going to talk about is, there's not much that's been happening when it comes to the DC news. Obviously, we know that there's going to be probably some public shooting of Superman that's going to be happening in Georgia soon. They're already preparing for that. But, speaking of preparing, we got the ladies of the DCU right now, or at least Superman, or, basically Superman that are, they're not shy. Well, it seems like the whole cast is not shy about, the workouts and showing off the progress when it comes to working out, which I have no problem with, because it's like, hey, you know what? You got to promote all this stuff, and why not promote the fact that it's like, okay, we're doing this, we're getting in shape. Oh, wait, where is it at right there? There we go. But this time, we actually have Lois Lane has joined the workout. And there's the workout guy, the guy who also trained David Corenswet. Paolo. That's right. It's me, Sorry, I'm doing Jared Leto's impression when it came to Gucci. Anyways. So, of course, we have the ladies right here showing up. But, yeah, we get a Rachel Brosnahan that has now joined the game, putting in a workout herself. So you got to love that. Seems like Paolo, was he a fighter at one point? I'm looking at his nose. It looks like he might have had his nose busted a couple of times. He might have been a fighter at one point, probably. And, again, guys, look respectfully. Respectfully. We got to look respectfully. But, yeah, they did a little group shot right there. But, Jesus Christ, Jennifer Holland is just like, hey, hello. All right. Like I said, looking respectfully. But, I mean, you know, Miss Maria right there, Miss Gabriella Maria, she is just freaking ripped to shreds, man. I tell you what. But, yeah, and then, of course, we got the other two. They're just kind of, like, gracefully just showing right there. But look respectfully. And then, of course, this is the shot right there. But, yeah, Miss Maria right there is just like, just full on, just shredded up when it comes to all this. So is Jennifer Holland pretty much too. But yeah, there they are right there. And Jennifer Holland, of course, posted this: when the gorgeous ladies of a DC official Superman invite you to a workout with them and our personal trainer, Paolo, at 6:45 a.m. You do not hesitate. Okay, maybe you hesitate a little, but you do it without complaint, or maybe you complain an embarrassing amount. Probably your under eyes will never look the same, but definitely worth it. Worth it, hashtag, all that stuff. So yeah, they looking pretty good right there. Looking pretty good. I mean, that's what you got to do nowadays. You got to, like, you know, show. I mean, what's his name who plays Mr. Terrific? He showed his progress. We saw Corenswet they showed his progress. He's been kind of like holding it back a little bit, but, you know, it's just kind of cool that, you know, Rachel Brosnahan joined in a little bit on that one too. So, and then we have James Gunn, of course, wishing a happy anniversary to, of course, Ma and Pa Kent. That's right, Jonathan and Martha right here. And basically, finally, it's been a little bit, but confirming the actors who are going to be playing Ma and Pa Kent. Happy anniversary to my favorite Kansas farmers, Ma and Pa Kent, who will be played by Pruitt Taylor Vince, an actor I've wanted to work with since I saw him in James Mangold's Heavy in 1995, and the delightful Neva Howe. Ma and Pa Kent first appeared in Superman #1, May 18th, of course, 1939. Clark's parents had a few names until they were formally named John and Mary Kent in Superman 53 in 1948, a retelling of Superman's origin story. John and Martha, as their formal names, are established in later issues. So there you go. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that they need to keep on doing to keep the hype up, because we still have another year till we get this movie, and you got to just keep the hype going. And, you know, James Gunn's good at doing that, at least when it comes to anniversaries and everything, and the way that he wants to announce, like, certain actors. I'm like, yeah, good on you. But he also debunked something. That's right. James Gunn coming in, debunking that little thing when it came to that production list that had to do with Booster Gold. Womp, womp, womp. Hey, Mr. Gunn, is the rumor that Booster Gold will be recorded on, I love that, recorded, on July 18th true? July 8th true? Will it be the next big DCU series after Peacemaker Season 2, or will it be Amanda Waller series? James Gunn said, although we're still working on Booster Gold, production isn't imminent, and that story posting is completely false. Because we were kind of suspecting, like, what's going on here? Does that mean, are you guys waiting to announce who's Booster Gold? I don't know. And then you got the scoopers out there, the pooper scoopers saying stuff. I don't know. It's just all pretty crazy. But then again, it's like, who knows? It might be one of those things where, like, James Gunn's like, God damn it, how did that get leaked? Now I got to fluff some things, which, you know, stuff you got to do, I guess. But, yeah, looks like Booster Gold isn't going to be beginning production on July 8th. Sadly, I was hoping we were going to get that freaking announcement for who's playing it. And I was like, and a lot of people are like, oh my God, is it Chris Pratt? Oh boy. And then another thing I wanted to, you know, like I said, I'm a sucker for art. I'm a sucker for art. I'm a sucker for art. And we got Will Rios right here. He's already shown us his Superman, like showing just Superman standing up with his arms folded. Then he had a drawing that had Superman and then, of course, Clark Kent. Now he's added, hey, Lois Lane right there, Miss Rachel Brosnahan. So wanted to show that too because thought that was pretty good art. Thought that was very well done. The suit looks good right there. I mean, it's going to take me forever to get used to the chonies back, but hey, suit looks good right there. Clark looks good right there, and Lois looks really good right there. And I just, thought that was pretty good art that I wanted to share with you guys. Make sure you saw it. He does good stuff. He does good things right there. All right, what else we got? Anything else that we got? Was there anything else when it came to DCU? Nothing like that was like too crazy. I mean, obviously we got a new trailer for My Adventures with Superman season 2, May 25th. So that's coming up in a few days. So we had that. I think that was pretty much it. And then of course just kind of talking about, Macon, Georgia is where they're going to be shooting out in public. So cool. So we got some Superman stuff, some DCU stuff. But like I said, it's just a lot of, hot ladies. Hot ladies working out. Why not? Hot ladies. Anyways. Gunn probably is a big DC fan. I don't think he's probably a DC fan. I think he is a big DC fan. The guy's pretty knowledgeable when it comes to stuff. When it comes to that. Just saying. He at least has that. Gunn was a lucky man who wore a bunny suit in that weird... I don't know if he wore the bunny suit. He didn't wear the bunny suit. He was dressed as a priest next to a bunny, right? Or am I wrong? I don't know. Yeah, I know which pictures you're talking about. Very odd, but so are a lot of people in Hollywood. X-Men. All right, we got the X-Men movie that's going to be coming out, the MCU X-Men, and a lot of people are just like all eyes on that. And I still haven't watched X-Men 97. I had plans this weekend, guys, to actually reactivate my Disney Plus, but I didn't. I was actually on a Francis Ford Coppola kick this weekend. I watched The Godfather Part 2, and Apocalypse Now. Yeah, I was just, with all the Megalopolis talk and everything like that, I was just like, let's put on some Coppola stuff. I mean, naturally, I wasn't sitting there just watching it. I kind of I was watching, but then I was working on stuff, so I kind of just had it on. But yeah, I went through a Coppola kick this weekend when it came to my movie watching. And then, of course, still trying to get Shogun wrapped up. I got only a couple episodes to go, but eventually I'm going to get to X-Men 97 and reactivate my Disney Plus. But when it comes to the MCU X-Men movie, obviously all eyes on that, because with the X-Men 97 series being such a hit, at least when it comes, I mean, obviously streaming numbers, they could show a different story, but at least when it comes to the trending topics, when it comes to a lot of this stuff and just people that I've talked to, it seems like X-Men 97 really nailed it. So now it's like all eyes on, no pressure there, Feige pants, but, you got a lot of pressure when it comes to X-Men. And now it looks like they have their writer, and a lot of people are kind of going like, who? Who's this guy? Who's this writer? Yeah, even I had to look it up. Scroll. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. All right. X-Men movie at Marvel Studio gains momentum as Michael Leslie comes on as screenwriter. Who? Exclusive! Following the success of the animated series X-Men 97, Marvel Studios is now ramping things up with the live-action X-Men movie with Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes scribe Michael Leslie in negotiations to pen the movie. The film is still in early development with no talent or director attached and no release date. He's still in talks, so he actually might not get it. And yes, he wrote or helped write or co-wrote. I don't know if he was full on scribe on it, but yeah, Hunger Games, I didn't want to see it because, Rachel Zegler was in it. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. No, I'm kind of kidding. I just didn't really care to go see that movie. I don't know. But yeah, he wrote the last, which ended up not being as bad. It wasn't like a flop. I don't think it was considered a flop, and I think people, for the most part, enjoyed it. But he also wrote that god-awful Assassin's Creed movie. Yeesh. Yeah, I remember watching that, and I've played the game, and I've enjoyed playing the game before. I wasn't like a diehard player of it, but that movie was pretty fucking awful. Pretty damn awful. And looking at his filmography when it comes to writing, he's only done a few things. Not really much stuff. He's never done anything original. He's adapted books. Macbeth, I still haven't seen Macbeth. That, you know, the new Macbeth movie that had like Denzel Washington in it. Still didn't see it, but heard good things about it. Kind of didn't go anywhere, which is weird. And he did like, I think like The Drummer Girl, which is also adapted. So basically he's adapted things. So he's good at adapting things. So maybe that could help when it comes to adapting X-Men into this universe. But at the same time, this is just one writer. There's going to be numerous writers. It's not like it's just going to be just one writer. No, if he gets the gig, he'll come up with like a first draft of something. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, when it comes to X-Men, you can't just, you know, it's not going to just be like one story. I mean, you have to, this is a whole, there's so many characters. This is what I kind of wonder, like when it comes to Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige and everybody trying to plan out when the mutants come into play. And it sucks because I just think they should just reboot the entire universe before they bring in the X-Men, because I want to see I want to see all these, the fact that we don't have a Tony Stark or a Steve Rogers anymore, and we're like, you know, all of a sudden we're not going to have like these characters anymore because they've already been around for over 10 years and they've already served their purpose and they're no longer around. It's like, but I want to see the X-Men interact with the core Avengers group. I want to see that. I want to see the Fantastic Four interact as well. And now we're getting them so late. So I'm just like, all right, good luck. It's going to be kind of difficult when it comes to all this, but I just think they should just reboot the entire thing to incorporate everyone now. But I mean, because you have to really consider, I mean, the X-Men, I mean, there's so many characters, so many individual stories that you could do. I mean, this is what Fox was trying to do it, where they were like, okay, we had 3 X-Men movies, now let's do origins. And they had plans at one point to do just origins of all, and for the most part, they did Wolverine origins, didn't quite land. They missed a mark on that, even though some of the things were okay when it came to that movie. But then, of course, they went to First Class, and that one hit it. And then it kind of just started, like, kind of rebooted a little bit. Rebooted the franchise a little bit for them, because then we're like, okay, we can use the newer people and we can just kind of go like this. And then, of course, they collided when it came to Days of Future Past, which was fantastic. But, I mean, there's so much that is involved with the X-Men characters. It's just, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they approach it. I mean, this is going to be a feat, you know, especially when you're trying to still continue your actual universe, and then you're going to incorporate this whole slew of characters that is just so many stories, and you don't have your Tony Stark, you don't have your Steve Rogers, and it's just like, wow, this is what's going to be difficult when it comes to all this. And I think the simplest way to do it is just reboot the whole fucking thing. But they're not going to do that, even though that would probably be the smart thing to do. I think that would be the smart thing to do, is just reboot the whole entire fucking thing. But hey, I'm not Kevin Feige. He's the one that's, you know, a billionaire and turn the whole thing. I don't know. I just think reboot the whole entire thing, Kevy Pants. Probably be the easiest way. But then, of course, you're going to be met with a bunch of shit too. Like I said, I mean, the day that we're actually going to be getting people like, not my Wolverine, not my Tony Stark, not my Steve Rogers. You know, it's going to be like, yeah, because we get that. We get that so much in the DC universe, because there's been numerous Batmen, there's been numerous Supermen, you know. So now we got people that are just like, they're all about their Superman. So when a new Superman comes around, guess what? They hate him, you know. Or when a new Batman comes around, fuck that guy, you know. It's always like that, and it's like, when that happens to Wolverine, when that happens to Iron Man and Captain America, that's what's going to be interesting. Anyways, all right. We got the box office. The box office is suffering right now, guys. Sadly, very much suffering right now. And obviously, I'm doing this on Tuesday, so we already have like updated numbers, full-on updated numbers. But yes, we had If that came out over the weekend. You saw my review. I enjoyed it for the most part. Seemed like a lot of people did enjoy it, but it did seem like it kind of missed a mark. And you think that, you know, as we're going into this like summer blockbuster season, it's perfect for that, perfect for families to come out and everything like that. But sadly, projections had it at almost like $60 million opening domestic. Didn't quite make it with 33.7. At least that's where it's at right now domestically. Yeah. And it's sitting at 60.1 or 60.2 worldwide. Nobody even seemed to care about The Strangers Chapter 1 so much. But then again, that movie didn't cost that much to make. And it's at 11.8, 13 worldwide. Yeah. The box office. Yeah, the box office is not doing too good because what movie started off the summer blockbuster season? The Fall Guy. You can already watch that at home. That's right. Not even a month later. It's like, what, 3 weeks? If that? You can already watch The Fall Guy. It's already coming out on VOD. You can already watch it right there. And you got these budgets. And when it comes to If, I thought If maybe didn't have maybe it had like a $100 million budget or a $90 million budget. No, apparently it had a $110, $120 million budget. So still had a pretty kind of hefty budget. Not too bad. But at the same time, do you think it's going to make its money back? No, because, well, let's face it, times are tough right now. Inflation sucks. The economy sucks right now in the United States. You know, I don't know who you want to blame for that. Pick one of the old people that are just running this fucking country. Yeah, it all just kind of sucks right now, but it also kind of sucks around the world too. And so now when it comes to going to the movies, I saw today when people were buying their Deadpool and Wolverine tickets for IMAX, people were paying upwards of $26 a fucking ticket. That's how bad it's getting. So if you want to take your family out to the big, huge movie theater, the big, huge screen, yeah, it is going to cost you so much because obviously you're going to have to get some treats. So that's going to add to it too. And don't even get me started on the cost of getting food and condiments when it comes to the movie theater. But Jesus Christ, it just shows you right there. And when you have a movie coming out one after the other, one after the other. It's like Fall Guy, If, Furiosa. Now we're just like one after nobody can breathe. And when you know that a studio is just going to put it on VOD where you can watch it in the comfort of your own home, where you can only spend, what, $25, $30, and you can have everybody just join in. You have your own snacks and everything that you didn't have to pay fucking, 5 times the fucking price that it normally is. Sit in your comfort of it. Yeah, people are going to wait. So if you're going to be doing that, if you're going to be putting it on VOD like real quick, people aren't going to flock out to the movie theater. It's all just, yeah, it's all just bad, man. Just really bad. Not to mention, it's like they're not going to put a bunch into the marketing budget if they know that, okay, this is not tracking well. Take away, don't put much into the marketing budget, so we're not going to do good when it comes to that, and people aren't just going to go out and fucking see these movies, man. It sucks, because I love going to the movies every week. Love going to the movies. But it's scary. It's becoming like, but the thing is, though, like when I go to the movies, I never buy popcorn or anything like that. If I go to the certain one, I'll buy I'll buy a drink, obviously, but it's sad because that's a whole different part of the whole thing. I could buy 2 beers for the less cost of like food when it comes to the movie theater. Yeah, I could buy 2 beers, but that's going to cost less than, if you want let's get a large popcorn, a soda, and a pretzel. It's going to cost less. It's pretty sad. When the booze costs less than the food, that's pretty bad. Yeah. Oh, man. The industry is dying. It's going to implode, man. It's going to implode. All right. Now we got Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson. I think with what's happened to Dwayne Johnson in the past couple of years, maybe even more than that, you know, when it came to the whole Black Adam thing, when it came to the WrestleMania thing, when it came to the XFL thing, and just there's been a lot of failures when it comes to Dwayne Johnson. And, you know, I don't hate the guy. I used to really like him. Now I'm kind of like, I don't know about Dwayne Johnson anymore. It just seems like there's a lot of phoniness that's been coming out when it comes to The Rock right here. But for the most part, I'm like, okay, I'm not saying that he's like horrible or anything. Maybe it's going to come out that he actually is pretty horrible. But I think when it comes to the fact that, you know, he was like the top movie star and he was basically just showing up in like these big franchises. They were making billions of dollars. He was doing a lot of things, and he was very motivational, and everybody was just kind of like, yeah, Dwayne Johnson, so much that they wanted him to run for president. But I think he got a reality check in the last 2-3 years when it came to things just failing. And, you know, he was going for that DC gig. He was trying to get the DC Studios gig where he wouldn't have run it. It would have been probably Hiram Garcia, his representation, running DC. But then it was like, okay, but he's going to be doing like this A24 film about this MMA fighter. And it was like, oh, wow, A24? That's pretty interesting. So it was like, okay. And then he was posting things that he was training for it and everything. And it's called The Smashing Machine. And they revealed the first image of him. And it was like, whoa, what? He's got hair. He's got hair. And some prosthetics, some makeup. What the hell? That's Dwayne Johnson? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That's him? Look at that. That is pretty insane right there. I remember I saw it. I was like, whoa. Threw me back. And I'm like, cool. All right. Taking this seriously. It looks like he actually went down in size a little bit too, if I'm not wrong about that. Because obviously, like, you know, when he's working out, and especially for like Black Adam and everything, he always tries to get really big. So he puts on a lot of mass. He's always like, you know, very massive. But if you're going to be like, okay, I'm not going to be lifting heavy weights as much, and I'm going to be doing a lot of jiu-jitsu and a lot of grappling and stuff like that, yeah, you're going to lose some mass. You're going to lose some mass, and you're going to tone up a little bit more. And that's what it looks like. It looks like he actually went down in mass a little bit, got a little bit more shredded. Like I said, this is from Benny Savdi. And that's what the real guy looks like right there. That is really good. I think they did a really good job. I think he looks like, okay, so he's taking this seriously, guys. Taking it seriously. Even got the little tattoos. What are those little spiders right there? So there's a comparison. There's a comparison right there. I think he's Dwayne Johnson's going, you know what? I think my career of just being like that, the star and this guy, yeah, it's kind of soured up a little bit. So now it's time to Dave Bautista myself. Let's challenge some acting chops here. And I hope it does. I'm not saying he's a terrible actor, but, you know, let's face it. He's just, you know, he's Dwayne Johnson. He's the action star. He's that guy. But now it's like, all right, is he going to he's going to be challenging his acting chops right here. Kind of like what Dave Bautista kind of went into acting, wanting to do that already when it comes to at least wrestler going into actor right here. But that's pretty good. And I mean, if you want to see this is actually the full shot right here. That's a full shot. And got Emily Blunt right there. And then a pair of legs. Just a pair of legs. But yeah, Emily Blunt is also... She's in the movie, love interest and everything. So, yeah, I'm like, good for Dwayne Johnson. I think this is what I think with everything that happened. It's like, yeah, you need to. You're growing, dude. You're growing. You're not growing, you know, muscularly anymore. Because honestly, he's like what, pushing 50, almost 50, is 50. I don't even know how old he is right now, but it's like, yeah, you can't maintain that size forever. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, it's not natural. I don't care what anybody says. Definitely not natural. So it's like, all right, you start doing some jujitsu stuff, you start doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, you just, you know, your mass goes down, but you keep you keep the muscle on as much as possible. And he looks good. He looks good. I think he looks good. Anyways. He's taking a cue from Batista. Yeah, Dwayne Johnson, his sun is setting. Sun is setting, but he could have a whole new, you know, whole new thing right there. I know. I mean, kind of makes you wonder, is he going to end up... I just wonder, like, I'm curious about this movie. Yeah, lose the piss, maintain the gains. I like that. I heard it was a good movie, but not a good box office. Emily Blunt Johnson is good. Yeah, that's right, huh? They were in Jungle Cruise or whatever. I didn't even see it. I didn't see Jungle Cruise. Again, like when it comes to Disney movies, sometimes I'm just like, whatever. Oh, yeah, it's definitely Oscar bait, but then again, it's like, you know, the Iron Claw movie, which I haven't seen yet. You know, that was, when it comes to, you know, similar kind of movie, even though that's full-on wrestling, that was total Oscar bait for Zac Efron, and nobody touched that shit, so. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's get to the questions on good old Twitter right here, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up this show. RJ, what would your ideal lineup for an X-Men movie be? Should they get to copy one-to-one with what X-Men 97 is, or go in a wholly different, unique direction? I think something close to a blend of the original 60s theme and the 90s theme would be cool. Yeah? Again, this is the struggle right here. This is the absolute struggle when it comes to the MCU X-Men. It's like, all right, you have an animated series that not once but twice is now beloved. And you have a Fox franchise that's also beloved, even if there were some misses that happen along the way. So it's like, how do you come up with something fresh but also familiar? I mean, I think it looks to me like, when it comes to at least what the X-Men are going to look like, I mean, if we saw what Beast looked like in the Marvels, and I think they're going to go as accurate as possible, which is smart. I would say go as accurate as possible when it comes to certain costumes and looks and stuff, sure. But ideal lineup, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I wasn't a huge X-Men comic book fan. I was a fan of the animated world, so like pretty much that lineup, I think that lineup is probably the best way to go. I wouldn't say like, you know, I mean, obviously the lineup for just the X-Men movies were pretty good too, but yeah, I would say that lineup for the animated series probably would be the ideal way to do it. Maybe not everybody. Don't introduce everybody right away. I don't know. That's another thing too, is like how do you introduce these characters as well? Eric, the X-Men news had me thinking about Fantastic Four and how the simplest way to top Thanos is with Galactus. Now we've got some early build-up to our favorite planet eater with Eternals and everything else with the Celestials. But how soon will they bring in the man himself? Well, I mean, they cast the actor for it, so he is going to be already introduced. I know the Celestials thing was really cool. I mean, I might not have enjoyed Eternal. I need to watch Eternals again. Seems like it got way too much hate. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it's like, I don't know how they're gonna full on pull it off, but you could be right. He could be like the next big baddie. But then, of course, I know they want Doom in there too. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I think what they did with the Celestials, I thought that was really cool, what they did with that. Darkness Under the Wind. Dave, question 1. Should Superman be very successful and still be in theaters for a few months? Do you see Peacemaker Season 2 coming out really late that year, like November, December? I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, if they're going to be they're already filming it now. Seems like they would want to get it out maybe even before it. It might show up before. I don't know. Question 2, with a writer found for the MCU X-Men movie, do you see them announcing the cast playing the team sooner than we think, confirming we're getting them before Secret Wars, or maybe they plan on waiting to search till Secret Wars ends? Yeah, again, I'm just like, how do you... If they pull this off, if they pull off introducing the X-Men and it's successful, kudos on Feige, because this is going to be very difficult for them to do. I don't know. It's a good question. Devon Wooter. Hey, Dave, I just watched Mission Impossible 3. Do you have a favorite scene from the movie? Yeah, I mean, pretty much that scene right there on the bridge is pretty damn badass. Ron Howard, a crazy man, 3 hot ladies, and in his new movie. I know he will never happen, but Michael Fassbender as Batman for James Gunn's DC Universe. Yeah, Fassbender would be he could probably pull off Batman, but definitely not going to happen. Cooper Knox, I'm starting to think both Zack Snyder and James Gunn have a thing for muscle women. Nothing wrong with that, Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of some muscle tonnage. Yeah, sometimes it could get a little too much, where I'm like, all right, that's a little too much for me personally. But get some muscle tone. I don't mind. Like I said, Maria, who's playing the engineer. I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm like, I don't mind that at all. X-Bot. These girls are having too much fun. Snyder would be there, would be working their asses off. Oh, is that? Snyder would be running a tight ship. No, but I mean, you guys are probably right. Zach's probably if he's seeing any of this stuff, he's like, yeah, good on James. Good on James. What the fuck? What in the? All right, this is the thing of nightmares right here. Holy shit! Thank you, Dylan G. Oh, I can't. Oh my God, I can't stop looking at it. I mean, this is basically Dwayne Johnson as Mike from Monsters, Inc. This is the thing of nightmares. I'm going to be freaking having a nightmare about this tonight. Holy shit. Who made this? Is Isaiah Arts made this right here? God, good Lord. Yeah. Rock Wazowski right here. Oh my God. This is just total nightmare fuel. But it's hilarious. I will say that. It is absolutely hilarious. Whew, man. I hope you guys don't have a bad dream about that tonight, but you might. You actually might after that one. Holy Lord. Oh, but anyways, yeah. This whole thing about X-Men, I mean, I tell you what, I think we're going to be talking about this for a bit. It's like, it's just something. I don't know. I love talking about movies and talking about this stuff. I mean, we're talking about the X-Men being introduced into the MCU. We got a new Superman and DC characters coming into live action that we haven't seen before. And we have Dwayne Johnson taking his acting career seriously with an A24 movie where he's got hair and it's all different. Everything's different. It's like, what the hell? So I have hope. I have hope, guys. I do have hope. A little bit of hope. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you again, Lane, for the music. Really love it. And follow me, guys, on all the sock meds that are around me right there. Subscribe to the Patreon. We got merch, of course, in the Film Junkie Closet. It's all provided down below. Check all that out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm still going to do a Film Junkie Live on Wednesday. I'll do my Furiosa review, talk about Furiosa reviews as well, the other reviews. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some other stuff. All right, guys. Love ya. Talk to you later.